What we have here is a CNBP100 control unit. This is one of our smaller portable units. These traditionally come as a 120 volt unit, but what we're going to go through in this video is how to convert this to 240 volts. It's a couple more steps, very detailed steps that we're going to take through this video, and just make sure you pay attention and we'll show you how to do it. So first thing you want to do is you want to remove the front cover from this control pack, which is located underneath the panel on your spa. And you want to flip it over. You want to familiarize yourself with this wiring diagram. So this wiring diagram shows you over here, this is the board. This matches the board. That's right here, okay? And you want to pay attention specifically to this section right here. This is factory conversion to 240 volt system and field conversion to 240 volt. So this is how to convert this board to 240 volts. So if you get stuck, always refer to this section right here and read through here, okay? All right, that's the first thing. So we're going to look at our board, and we're going to first start by looking at the terminal blocks. This terminal block here is already wired for 120, so this is the part your electrician is going to need to do. You're going to want to remove the current wires in there, okay? All right, move your neutral and your hot. Remove your ground over here. So this allows you to now pull out the 120 volt wire, okay? And your electrician is going to wire this up for 240 volts. And when they do that, you want to pay attention, because the location of where those wires are going to go is going to change. So you see, number 1 is your neutral or your white, 2 is your black, 3 is your red. On 120 volts, it's different. 3 is your neutral and 2 is your black. So you want to make sure you follow this wiring diagram here for when your electrician is hooking up the wires, the 240 volt line, to the actual terminal block itself, okay? So follow this one for the terminal block hookup for the electrician. All right, now we're looking at this. We're going to go through the steps now how to convert this to 240 volts. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to find is the F3 fuse. Let's mention it right here. This F3 fuse is located right here on the board, which is, move this apart, right here in the center. This fuse right here. This fuse needs to be replaced with the fuse that's actually located on the back of the board. So with your new board, you'll have on the back of it located a little fuse. So we're going to just slice this a bit to get access. I'm going to pull this fuse out. They look almost identical. This is a 0.1 amp fuse, and the one that's in here is 0.16. Let's verify that. Yes, 0.16. So you want to replace this small fuse, okay? So you can pop this fuse out. You can also use needle nose pliers. Pull this one out. Again, this is the one that's used for 120 volts. And we're going to put this back in this little pouch on the back so we don't lose it. Okay? Then we're going to take the 0.1 amp fuse, slide that right in the fuse holder there. Okay? There's step number 1. Next step you want to look at is right beside it, these jumper pins here. Okay? This section is located, we're going to look on the wiring diagram. This is right here on the right over here. We're going to talk about what we're going to adjust right here with these jumper pins. So if you need to reference it, how to adjust that here. These jumper pins right now are set up for 120 volts because these white jumpers are located on the outside. So what we're going to do is actually take one off. Just going to grab it and put only one across the center 2. Okay, we're going to jump the center 2 pins, leave the other 2 pins open. That's going to convert it for 240 volts. Okay, we now have an extra pin here, a jumper pin. We're going to just put one of the leads on the one at the bottom and the other one not connected, so you don't lose that. All right, so again, you're only jumping the 2 middle pins with one of these jumpers. In this one, we're just going to put one of the empty ends on the end here so that it's not jumping anything else, so we don't lose that again. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, we're going to be looking over on the right-hand side. We're going to look for the J31 jumper pin. Okay, this J31 jumper pin, another very small pin. This is a little black one here. It's located right here on the right-hand side. As you see, this one's located, it's only across one of the pins, and it's located vertically. We're going to want to take this off and put it across, jump it across both pins. All right, make sure that's pushed down and secure. So that's the J31. You want to jump both pins there instead of just the one, which is used for 120 volts. All right, next step, we're almost there, is to look at the dip switch bank. All right, this dip switch bank, which is located right here on the board, has a whole pile of tiny little switches. These little switches, you need to adjust one of the switches in here to allow your high-speed pump and heater to operate at the same time. So if you're as long as you're installing this on something that's 40 amps or higher, you can adjust this switch. It's going to be number 2. So from the bottom up, you want to count 1, 2, and move the second pin to the left. Okay, so it's only the second pin that's actually the second switch, which is actually going to be on. Everything else is going to be to the right or off. All right, so we've adjusted the fuse. We've adjusted these 120 volt jumpers. We've adjusted the J31 jumper. We've adjusted the dip switches here. And the last thing we need to look at is the power going into the pump and the in banks 1 and 3. And this is referenced, just if you need further reference, right here in this section. Okay? So what we're going to do first is you need to remove the jumper wire that's connecting bank number 1. If you can see it here, see the number 1 there? Bank 1. And if you look down here, bank 3. Okay? This jumper wire goes from the pins on the connections on bank 3 to bank 1. And we're going to simply wiggle it back and forth and remove this jumper wire. We're going to stick this on the back side here in this little pouch. So in case you ever need to convert it back or you need this jumper wire again, you've got access to it. Okay? So we don't lose it. Now you've removed the power from 1 to 3. The last and final step is you need to make sure your pump, which we'll start with back here, located at J46. This jumper wire here for the pump manages the voltage going to the pump. So J46 currently is connected to J10, which is down here. So J46 up here, you follow this wire all the way down, it connects down here to J10. That's the wrong spot. That's in the 240 volt spot because this is a 120 volt pump. We need to actually remove that pin from bank 3. If you need help, you can always use your needle nose if it's a little stubborn. Okay. You want to put this back up into the slot that you just took the other pin out of, which is the other jumper wire out, which is J4. So one of the pins in bank number 1. I'm sorry. All right, so that's now in there nice and snug. So again, just to refer what we did, we removed the wire here from J40, the wire here from J10 from the jumper wire for 46, moved it from bank 3 up to bank number 1, which will now feed 120 volts into pump 1. All right, so all of these to combine together now allow you to operate this control pack as a 240 volt control system. If you have any questions, contact us on our support page or leave us a comment in the notes and we'll be sure to help you out.